For decades, the advice sounded simple. Work hard, save money, buy your first home. That home had a name, the starter home, a small house, affordable, a stepping stone to the future. It was supposed to be the beginning of financial stability. But today, something strange is happening. In many cities across America, the starter home now costs $500,000, $500,000 for a basic house. And when you actually run the numbers, the reality becomes shocking, because what most people believe about starter homes is no longer true. This is the $500,000 starter home lie. The idea of the starter home began decades ago. The concept was simple. You buy a small, affordable house early in life. You build equity, and later you upgrade to something bigger. For years, that strategy worked. In the 1970s, a starter home might cost 2 or 3 times your annual salary. But today, in many places, the average starter home costs 6 to 8 times the typical income. What used to be a small financial step has become a massive financial commitment. And yet millions of people still chase this dream without realizing how much the math has changed. Let's imagine a typical couple, David and Sarah. They both work full-time. Together, they earn $95,000 per year. That's actually above the median household income in the United States. They've been saving for years, and finally, they decide they're ready to buy their first home. After months of searching, they find one. A simple 3-bedroom house, built in the 1980s. Nothing fancy, but the price? $500,000. Still, they believe this is normal. After all, everyone says buying a home is the smartest financial decision, so they decide to run the numbers. That's when the reality begins to appear. Most financial experts recommend a 20% down payment. Why? Because it helps avoid something called private mortgage insurance, or PMI. But here's the problem. On a $500,000 house, 20% equals $100,000. That's just the down payment. It doesn't include closing costs, moving expenses, furniture, repairs. For many families, saving $100,000 could take 10 years or more. So many buyers choose another option. They put down 5% instead. That means just $25,000 up front. But there's a catch. Now they must pay PMI every month, and that adds hundreds of dollars to the total cost. Many buyers focus on the house price, but the real question is this: what does the monthly payment actually look like? Let's assume a typical scenario. A $500,000 house, 5% down, a 30-year mortgage, and interest rate around 7%. The base mortgage payment alone could be around $3,200 per month, but that's not the final number. You still need to add property taxes, home insurance, PMI, maintenance. Suddenly, the real monthly cost becomes closer to $4,300 to $4,500 per month. That's more than many people spend on rent, food, and transportation combined. Financial planners usually recommend something simple. Your housing costs should stay below 30% of your income. So if a house costs about $4,300 per month, that means the household should earn around $150,000 to $180,000 per year. But here's the problem. The median household income in the United States is about $84,000, which means millions of families cannot safely afford these homes. And yet, many still try. When people stretch their budget to buy a house, something dangerous can happen. They become house poor. That means most of their income goes toward housing, mortgage, taxes, insurance, repairs, leaving very little money for savings, investments, or emergencies. One medical bill, one job loss, one unexpected repair, and suddenly the dream home becomes a financial burden. For many people, this situation creates frustration. They followed the advice, worked hard, saved money, avoided unnecessary spending, and yet buying a normal home still feels impossible. It can feel like the system is broken, but understanding the numbers can actually give you power, because once you see the true cost, you can make smarter decisions. So, what can people do instead? First, remember something important. A house is not automatically a good investment. Sometimes renting and investing the difference can build wealth faster. Second, focus on total financial stability, not just home ownership. That means emergency savings, investments, and flexible spending. And third, buy a home only when the numbers truly work for you, not because society says you should, because the goal is not just owning a house, the goal is financial freedom. The idea of the starter home once made sense, but in today's market, the math has changed. A $500,000 house is no longer a small first step. For many families, it's a life-changing financial commitment. Understanding the numbers doesn't destroy the dream. It protects you from making a decision that could damage your future. Because the real goal is not simply buying a house. The real goal is building a life where your money works for you, not the other way around.